The massive alien warship loomed over Earth, blocking out the sun across half the planet. General Zixnax, Supreme Commander of the Galactic Hegemony's invasion force, paced impatiently on the bridge. "Status report," he barked at his subordinates. "The humans continue to resist, General," replied his second-in-command. "Their militaries have been decimated, but guerrilla forces are proving troublesome." Zixnax growled in frustration. The invasion of this primitive backwater world should have been simple. Instead, these pitiful humans were employing infuriatingly effective asymmetric warfare tactics. His forces controlled the skies and had obliterated organized resistance. Yet still, the humans fought on. "Very well," the general said. "It's time to break their will completely. Bring in." A hush fell over the bridge. The beast was the hegemony's ultimate psychological weapon, a nightmarish creature bioengineered to induce sheer terror in any sentient species. Its mere presence had ended wars and subjugated entire civilizations. "But sir," his second protested, "the beast has never been deployed on a populated world before. The collateral damage." "Will be acceptable," Zixnax interrupted. "This ends now." Hours later, the first transport shuttles pierced Earth's atmosphere, heading for a major human population center. As they touched down, ramps extended and armored doors slid open with a hiss. Humanity's defenders braced themselves, fingers tightening on triggers as they prepared to face an unimaginable horror. A small, furry creature trotted out of the shuttle. It had 4 legs, floppy ears, and a wagging tail. Big brown eyes gazed around curiously as a pink tongue lolled out of its mouth. "What? What is that thing?" whispered one of the alien soldiers in confusion. A human voice rang out from behind a barricade. "It's a cute puppy." Cries of "Aw-bu" and "Here, boy" erupted from the human lines. The puppy yipped happily and bounded toward them, tail wagging furiously. General Zixnax stared at the monitor in utter disbelief. "Impossible," he roared. The beast's fear aura should be reducing them to gibbering wrecks. But the humans were clearly not terrified. If anything, their morale seemed to be improving as they cooed over the friendly creature. "Sir," said his second, hesitantly, "it appears the beast's fear effect may not work on humans. In fact, they seem to find it adorable." Zixnax slumped in his command chair. "Recall the beast immediately, and get me the Galactic Emperor. It's time to sue for peace." As the puppy received belly rubs and treats from delighted humans, the once mighty alien armada began to withdraw from Earth orbit. They had finally encountered a species immune to their ultimate weapon through the power of cuteness. Centuries later, the story of how humanity's love for dogs had saved them from alien conquest became legend. And somewhere on a distant world, an embarrassed Zixnax was still trying to live it down. Centuries passed, and the tale of Earth's unlikely victory over the galactic hegemony spread across the cosmos. The story of how a simple puppy had thwarted an alien invasion became the stuff of legend, retold countless times in bars, schools, and diplomatic meetings throughout the galaxy. On Earth, dogs were elevated to an even more revered status. Statues of the brave puppy who had unwittingly saved humanity adorned parks and city centers. The United Nations established an official interstellar canine ambassador program, sending Earth's goodest boys and girls on diplomatic missions to alien worlds. Meanwhile, on a distant planet at the fringes of the former hegemony's territory, the once feared General Zixnax lived in self-imposed exile. His reputation in tatters, he had retreated to a quiet life far from the galactic spotlight. But try as he might, he couldn't escape his infamous past. One day, as Zixnax was tending to his garden of bioluminescent fungi, a group of alien tourists spotted him. "Look, One of them exclaimed, pointing 3 of its tentacles. "It's the puppy general." Zixnax sighed heavily. No matter where he went, no matter how much time passed, he couldn't shake that blasted nickname. "Please," he said wearily, "I've told you all before. I'm retired. No interviews, no autographs." But the tourists were undeterred. "Is it true you tried to conquer Earth with cuteness?" one asked excitedly. "That's not what," Zixnax began, but another tourist cut him off. "Can you do the thing? You know, the bring in the beast line." Zixnax's eye stalks drooped in resignation. He knew from experience that they wouldn't leave him alone until he played along. Summoning what little remained of his once fearsome demeanor, he struck a pose and bellowed, "Bring in the beast." The tourists cheered and snapped pictures with their various imaging appendages. Zixnax slumped back onto his hovering lounger, wondering for the millionth time how his life had come to this. As the excited group finally departed, Zixnax noticed something they had left behind. It was a small, furry creature with 4 legs, floppy ears, and a wagging tail, a puppy. For a moment, Zixnax felt a flash of his old terror. But as the little dog gazed up at him with big, soulful eyes, he felt something else, something he had never experienced before in all his centuries of military conquest. Hesitantly, Zixnax reached out a clawed hand. The puppy sniffed it, then gave it a gentle lick. Despite himself, the former general felt the corners of his mouth twitching upward. "Well," he said softly, "I suppose you can stay, but don't get any ideas about conquering me. Understood?" The puppy yipped happily and curled up at Zixnax's feet. As he absent-mindedly began to scratch behind its ears, Zixnax realized that perhaps retirement wouldn't be so bad after all. Back on Earth, in a top-secret facility deep beneath the Pentagon, a group of human scientists huddled around a monitor. On the screen was a live feed from a microscopic camera hidden in the collar of the puppy they had sent to Zixnax. "Operation Canine Diplomacy is a success," the lead scientist announced. "Subject Zixnax is responding positively to the puppy. Recommend proceeding to Phase 2, teaching him to play fetch." As humanity prepared to win over its former enemy with the power of puppy love, the galaxy watched in amused disbelief. The species that had halted an alien invasion with cuteness was now poised to build a lasting peace, the same way. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the entity once known as the Beast, now happily renamed Fluffy by its human family, continued to spread joy and belly rubs across the cosmos, one planet at a time. I understand you'd like to conclude the story. Here's a brief ending to wrap up the narrative. As years passed, the unlikely alliance between humans and their former alien adversaries flourished, all thanks to the universal appeal of man's best friend. The galaxy entered an unprecedented era of peace and cooperation, with canine ambassadors leading the way in interstellar diplomacy. Zixnax, once the feared alien general, became known as the galaxy's foremost expert on Earth dogs. His best-selling book, From Beast to Best Friend, How Puppies Conquered My Heart and Saved the Galaxy, topped the charts on 1,000 worlds. And so, the greatest conflict in galactic history ended not with a bang, but with a bark. Humanity had not only survived its trial by fire, but emerged as a beacon of hope and unity for all species. As for the dogs, well, they just wagged their tails and carried on being themselves, the true unsung heroes of Earth and beyond.